Every time you type a message into ChatGPT, the company behind it loses money. Not metaphorically, actual dollars burned on your write my email request. Multiply that by roughly a billion people using AI tools every week, and you get the strangest business story ever told. The fastest growing products in history that lose money on nearly every customer they win. And here's the part that actually matters. The people funding those losses aren't crazy. They have a plan, maybe the boldest plan in business history. When you see it, you'll understand where the entire economy is heading and who's quietly getting rich while everyone else argues about chatbots. Let's do the math they'd rather you didn't. When you send a prompt to an AI model, it doesn't run on magic. It runs on some of the most expensive hardware ever manufactured, clusters of GPUs that can cost more than a house. Each answer you get is called inference. And inference costs real compute, real electricity, real money. Estimates put simple requests at a fraction of a cent. But long documents, images, video, and thinking models can push a single heavy request toward dollars. A fraction of a cent sounds fine until you remember the scale. The CEO of OpenAI once admitted that people saying please and thank you to ChatGPT costs the company tens of millions of dollars a year in compute. Politeness. Tens of millions. Now stack the business model on top. Most users pay nothing. A small minority buy the $20 subscription. And the heaviest subscribers use more compute than their subscription costs. In 2025, OpenAI reportedly brought in around $13 billion, more than doubling year over year, while losing significantly more than it made. And by its own reported projections, it doesn't expect to be cash flow positive until around 2029. So, the obvious question, who keeps writing the checks and why? The answer starts with a playbook Silicon Valley has run before. Uber lost money on rides for a decade. Amazon barely showed profit for 20 years. The strategy even has a name, blitzscaling. Lose money to win the market, then cash in on the scale. But AI has a twist. The old playbook didn't. When Uber subsidized your ride, each ride still cost roughly the same to deliver. In AI, the cost of serving a given level of intelligence has been collapsing. Some analyses estimate the price of the same model capability has dropped around tenfold per year. That's the actual bet. Investors aren't funding today's losses because they enjoy burning money. They're betting that costs keep falling, that you get locked into one assistant that knows your work, your files, your life, and that whoever owns that relationship owns the next version of the internet. Lose billions now, own the front door to everything later. There's just one catch. For the bet to pay off, the spending has to turn into revenue eventually. And right now, the spending isn't slowing down. It's scaling up. Here's where the story stops being about chatbots and starts being about the biggest capital expenditure wave in modern history. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta poured a reported $410 billion into AI infrastructure in 2025, and their plans for 2026 point to roughly $700 billion more. Chips, land, buildings, power plants. Analysts are calling it the largest single-year corporate investment cycle in history. And here's what makes it remarkable. Unlike software, this money buys physical stuff that depreciates. GPUs wear out. Better chips make last year's clusters look outdated fast. These are the most sophisticated companies on earth, run by people who've seen every tech cycle, and they're spending anyway, at a scale nobody has ever spent before. That tells you what they think is waiting on the other side. Which raises the question everyone asks: what if the revenue never catches up? You've heard the word bubble. We'll get there. And the answer is more interesting than the doomers think. But first, you need to meet the people for whom none of this is a gamble at all. The ones getting paid either way. In the 1850s gold rush, most miners went broke. The reliable fortunes went to the people selling picks, shovels, and denim. Levi Strauss didn't dig for gold. He sold pans to everyone who did. The AI era has shovel sellers too, and they are doing spectacularly. Start with NVIDIA. Nearly every dollar those AI companies spend passes through the same cash register because nearly every serious AI model trains and runs on NVIDIA hardware sold at gross margins reported around 70%. While AI startups burn money, NVIDIA became one of the most valuable companies on earth. Behind NVIDIA sits a company most people can't name: TSMC, the Taiwanese manufacturer that actually fabricates the chips for NVIDIA and its competitors. Whoever wins the AI race, TSMC gets paid. One layer deeper, the power companies. Data centers already consume around 4% of US electricity, with projections pointing sharply higher, and in some regions, household electricity bills have been rising partly because of data center demand. So follow the chain. You use a free chatbot. The AI company loses money serving you. Big tech covers the loss, hoping to own the future. Their money flows to chip makers, fabs, and utilities. And part of the bill lands on your electricity meter. You're not just a product anymore. You're also, quietly, an investor. And unlike most investors in history, you get to see exactly where the money is flowing. So, is this a bubble? Honest answer: it can be a bubble and still be the best thing to happen to the economy in 50 years. The railways were a bubble, investors got burned, and the tracks still carried a century of growth. The dot-com crash wiped out trillions and left behind the fiber, the servers, and the habits that built the modern internet. Every technology that changed the world overshot on the way there. And this time, the deepest trend favors the builders. The cost of intelligence keeps collapsing. The same capability that cost dollars last year costs cents today. OpenAI's own reported forecasts call for over $100 billion in annual revenue by 2029. Ambitious? Sure. But the pattern to watch isn't the hype. It's three numbers. 1. Does the cost of serving users keep falling faster than usage grows? 2. Do businesses start paying serious money because enterprises are where subscriptions turn into contracts? 3. Do the free tiers start showing ads? The moment AI assistants start showing you ads, and the biggest players are already openly exploring it, the lose money forever phase is over and the profit phase has begun. Either way, the people selling shovels already won. The real question isn't whether the mine produces gold, it's who's positioned to catch it when it does. So the next time someone tells you AI is just hype or just a money pit, you'll know the truth is bigger than both. This is the largest, boldest infrastructure build-out in human history, funded on purpose by people betting that intelligence itself is about to become the cheapest commodity on earth. The story is always about the gold. The money is always in the shovels. And for the first time ever, the shovels are for sale to anyone paying attention. If you want to see what happens to jobs, markets, and your money as this bet plays out, that's the next video. It's on screen now.